Going sideways is one of life's great pleasures. It sounds fantastic, it feels fantastic, and it looks awesome. However, I'm not very good at it, so I came down to the guys at the Caterham Drift Experience to hone my skills. But then I thought, no, just a video of me prancing around in circles and stuff probably wouldn't be all that interesting. So I brought along some competition. His name is Elliot, though you may know him better as Example off of music. So Elliot, Example.
Yep.
Cars, what's your relationship with them?
We've been together now for a while. No, I don't know, I've just had an obsession with them since I was a kid. Since I was about maybe 8 years old, and I went to a car boot sale, and they had two posters framed. One was a Testarossa and one was a 911 Turbo. And asked my mum if I could buy them. I think they were 50p each, put them on my wall. And then just became, as I got older, obsessed more and more with the design and the technology and everything that goes into making them. And then obviously when I was old enough to drive, even then I couldn't afford anything. So it's only in the last sort of 5-6 years through my job and through being able to actually buy cars and being fortunate enough to meet people like yourself, you know, being invited to race days, being offered to, you know, lent cars, and it's a typical musician thing, isn't it? I think you've got to have one or two obsessions, and most blokes I know in this industry tends to be cars.
What is it about them? Is it the noise, is it the shape, is it the freedom, is it?
For me, noise. Anyone who knows me well will know that I'm quite a loud person. It's weird though, because say if I'm on stage, I love the attention, obviously, because you have to entertain and perform, that's your job. If I'm out and about walking in the street, I can't stand anyone looking at me, or, well, not that, I'm a bit awkward with it. I'm fine being an example on stage, but even I'm happy to have pictures and meet people, I don't want the attention. And then as soon as, you know, I started being a bit more successful and I could look at different types of cars, then all of a sudden I realised, damn, I do want people to look at me. And I had a few purchases which reflected that. But as soon as I step out that car, I just want to be left alone. So basically I'm just a big hypocrite.
So you're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, but wanting to show off and then being quiet.
I think maybe in the car it's like it's armour or something, because I'm not typically a really confident person. I was like I wouldn't say I was shy as a kid, but I was definitely a bit insecure. And maybe the car is a bit like an armour, and maybe the microphone is a bit like an armour. But typical Elliot on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. I'm not trying to avoid fans or anything. I always feel a bit awkward having people ask for signatures or pictures.
But so long as there's a V8 and a nice shape in the way, you're pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, or a microphone and a drummer behind me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. So, how do you rate your driving? I know you've done the Mille Miglia twice. You did it once with me.
Yeah. That's
pretty intense, and I know you came higher up in the rankings than I did.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that as long as you like.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't, some people get scared when they get in the car with me. I mean, my dad, for instance, when he did the Millie with me this year, he's quite scared of me going around London, but felt very safe with me at high speed in a car from like 1958 at 120 mile an hour with no airbags and no seat belts on little narrow country roads in the middle of Italy. So
you could say you're confidently cautious.
There you go. I was working out what to say. The 2 C's. Yeah.
Confidently cautious. All right. So how are you at sideways? Have you done it much before?
Not really. Never. Only by accident.
Okay.
I mean, I've done a bit of drifting here and there. You know, some people have gone wow occasionally and they've seen it, and I've claimed that I did it on purpose. But never had a crash. Well, I don't know where the wood is. Where's the wood?
Thanks, man.
So no side-on collisions or sideways sliding or drifting into parked cars or bollards or oncoming traffic.
All right. And experience with Caterhams before?
Yeah, I've driven a Caterham once about 6-7 years ago, but on a track, and they weren't telling us to drift. Okay. So this is a whole new experience for me, and you're pretty worried.
You shouldn't be, because I'm quite cack at it as well. That's why.
If there was 6 or 7 people here, I'd be really worried, because then I wouldn't want to finish last. But if you win this, and I've just come second, then.
That's all right. Yeah.
And I watched you drive on the Millie, and no, you're pretty good.
Slow.
You know, but the thing is, people that, you know, track racers versus road racers versus inner city people versus suburban people versus this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're all completely different.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, and
either way, I think we're going to have fun.
we're going to have lots of fun. That's what we're here for.
Because it's all about sideways slidiness.
Before we started sliding round, we talked to instructor Jack, who began by telling us why he likes to get the arse out in a car.
I think it's being the centre of attention and showing off to all your mates. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And in a rear-wheel drive car, you can, do some quite impressive things. I've been probably drifting as such since about 2011. But if I really think about it, I started drifting in an old Alfa Romeo in my granddad's friend's field, where I set up some tyres on some grass and learned how to do donuts. It's fairly easy to get going, but then everyone will hit kind of a saturation point where they simply can't take on board any more information within a day. So people often have to come back to it, and that's why we run advanced drift as well. So there's not only one course you can do with us, you can really develop over a period of time. So there's a few different ways which can initiate a drift, and it's pretty much predominantly around putting weight onto the nose of the car so the back of the car goes light. You can either do that by lifting off the throttle because weight's transferring forwards then, or you can actually start to brake, and most people who do it will then left foot brake, so then they can immediately start to feather the throttle and then pop on and off the power during the corner. The key thing is to keep the car as unbalanced as possible, but in a controllable way. So the more impressive the drift, the bigger the angle of the slide, but then there comes a finite point at which you drift too much and you run out of steering lock to actually catch the slide, and then you spin, and then everyone will laugh at you. I mean, you have to be on and off the throttle. It's knowing at what point to come off the gas, and again how aggressive to be on the power. On a dry day like today, the conditions are actually ideal because it's progressive. Everything is the same, so you're not having a change in surface or a change in grip level. But when you're doing it, say, in damp conditions, or if it's just rain and you've got a dry line or some puddles that you might hit, then it becomes more tricky, because then you have to really gauge how much you've got in the bag in terms of where you can position the throttle to adjust the angle of the car. Fairly quick hands. I mean, the steering needs to almost happen all in one go, and then you need to be on opposite lock straight away if it's to be, the best drift it could be. So what we'll generally do is let go of the wheel and then re-grip the wheel. So yeah, you have to let go of it, really not focusing on the wheel too much, but looking where you're going is what makes the difference as to where you grab the wheel again, because you can see the front wheels in a Caterham, they're right there in front of you, so it's really helpful in terms of gauging how much angle you've got.
Our weapon of choice for today is of course the Caterham 7, but what makes it perfect for what we're trying to do?
So the Caterham, a front engine rear wheel drive car. It's a 1.6 litre Ford Sigma engine sitting right up the front end with 140 brake horsepower, and apart from the engine yourself is probably going to be the other heaviest component within the car. It's got a limited slip diff at the back and a close ratio gearbox, so ideal for drifting in. It's very light, it's very nimble, it gives you a lot of feedback. We've also set this car up to oversteer. We've softened off the anti-roll bar at the front and stiffened up the anti-roll bar at the back, and also overinflated the rear tyres. So today, when these guys are out there drifting, it is going to be extremely unstable, but hopefully quite easy for them to get it sideways.
The time for talking was over. We'd been given some fantastic tuition, but now it was time to see just how well we'd been paying attention. Early indications were that we were going to struggle just a little bit, but we both kept trying. With constant expert guidance from Jack and Sam, we were eventually ready to take on the finale. A circuit comprising of various opportunities to drift to be skillfully negotiated before ending with a dainty touching of a cone to signal the ending of the lap. Points are awarded for style and subtracted for unnecessary spins and any cones knocked over. Elliot drew the short straw and had to go first.
See you in a bit.
Go on! Right, he's being judged now. It's a good start. It's a slow start. Oh dear, he spun. What a shame. Two cones are gone. Oh, Master Drift, you made mine yet. Touch the cone? He didn't touch the cone!
I didn't touch the cone! How many minus points is that?
1,000.
A decent effort, but could I do any better?
Right, don't cock it up.
Alex has prepared for us a complete balls up.
Go!
He's massive it.
I can sense something. It may go horribly wrong.
Oh, he's done it.
We'd done all we could. It was time to hear the verdict.
Okay, did you have a good afternoon?
Fantastic.
I had lots of fun. Thanks for all of your advice. You can tell it really showed. I'd definitely come back again and probably just clear the whole car park of cones.
That sounds like a challenge.
Just do my own thing.
Well, you were competing for not only pride but a medal, a very exclusive gold
you've hidden
medal
that well
to
today.
our Drift champion. And you both did two very good runs, and it was close, but there were a couple of mistakes either way. One of you scored 65 points, and the other one scored 60 points.
What?
So it was
So what now?
incredibly close. But we're going to have to give a massive round of applause to Alex, who came in second place. Taking this one is Elliot.
Very good.
Well done, Elliot.
That bribe worked then.
Yeah, it really did.
Well done.
Yeah, you kept it sideways for the longest, and obviously you paid a massive bribe.
I really don't think he was kidding about that bribe. In any case, Elliot and I had a great time, and the Caterham experience at Silverstone is definitely worth checking out if you'd like a safe introduction to the world of driving sideways. It should go without saying that you shouldn't try this in your own car on public roads, but if you can find, say, a field or an abandoned car park or expansive salt flats, there are certainly less fun ways of spending an afternoon.